not, yeah, this is not our problem. He attacks. We have whatever we have, or we have a quick little exit out.
Violence destroys. Weaponizing is the counter strategies to violent criminal assault. Hey, I'm Greg LaBeouf, aka The Violence Guy, and I'm sharing with you how I went from the victim of a brutal attempted murder to mastering the tool of violence and protecting myself and family, and how you can do the same from the safety and comfort of your own home. Welcome to Weaponizing DIY.
Okay, so boom, we hit the ground. So one of the first things we want to do is we want to get to our side, and we want to get up to our elbow. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my feet, and I'm going to push myself, so my arm's going to kind of reach back a little bit. I'm going to go to get onto my elbow. Notice how if I reach with my right arm, my left arm stays up. My left arm is there for eye shots, for framing. It's there to defend a little bit. But my right arm reaches back. Both legs hit the ground. And as I kind of start to sit and roll to my elbow, I use my legs to push myself away. And I end up on my right hip, so I'm on my right side right now. Okay, now why is this important? See, what you think is, boom, hit the ground, we just roll right to our side. Now, I'm not saying that that's never an option. If there's, for some reason you trip, fall, but there was enough space between you, and you had that time, maybe you could just roll to your side and go, okay, I'm in the same position, perfect. But most times what we're trying to do is manage the distance, manage the damage. The more space we can put between us and and the adversary and our attacker, the more time we have to hopefully execute a proper get-up. So what I'm doing is here is this arm goes back behind me. I use my legs and I push. It's kind of like a little shrimping motion. Shrimping just means you kind of get to your side, almost to a fetal position. This is just a jiu-jitsu kind of shrimp position. And just shrimp. Notice the one thing I'm not doing though is when this arm goes back, I'm not just pushing away. And see, now that I'm kind of on my right side, but still my legs are extended, I have no more push. I'm defenseless right here. So pushing that way, just pushing and sliding away is not what you want. It's going to make you more vulnerable. So when your arm goes back, the hips scoot back to the side. So I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see which way my hips go. So the arm goes back, but watch, I push with my feet, my hips, I don't just push myself this way, I push my hips out this way. So notice how I almost brought my hips. See where my arm is? Now my arm doesn't slide back. My arm reached back to here. I'm just going to roll this so you can see it. My feet dig in, and I lift my hip, lift my butt, and I land it right up by my arm, and then I bring my top leg up. Notice how the bottom leg pulled back in, coiled in. Okay, I'm going to show it again from a different angle. So land on the ground, this arm is back, feet dig in, lift my butt, but push and set my butt up by my arm. Okay? Everyone's got that? You guys are just doing this with me, obviously? Now remember, I didn't do this. Go back. I didn't slide everything back with me because now again, I'm all stretched out. Comfortable, but not defendable. All right? So, let's just make sure we have this motion. So now we're here. I'm still just using my right elbow, lift with my feet, lift my butt, and land. Once I land on my right hip, I can adjust my arm. I bring my left leg up. My right leg coils underneath me. The left arm stays up and inside my left leg. Not outside, not on top of it, inside. Okay? I'm going to add a couple more points to this in a second, but let's just make sure we have this. So now I'm going to go, let's do one more on the right. Right arm sits back, left arm is up. Feet dig in, lift my hips and sit them by my arm. Now once I do that, as my left leg comes up, my right arm can slide out a little bit as my right leg slides in. So I just get comfortable. Notice how, again, I'm not in perfect alignment here. See, I'm not perfectly straight. I'm coiled in at the waist a little bit. Not too much, not here. You don't want to go sideways, but just a little bit. I'm not perfectly in alignment. I'm just in a little bit. Okay? Left arm on the inside of my left thigh. Right leg coiled back in. All right, perfect. Okay, let's do the other side real quick. So land, boom, hit the ground. Left arm goes back, feet dig in, lift my butt, set it down, coil everything back in. Now my right leg's up, Right hand's on the inside of the right thigh. Left leg coiled back in and underneath. Okay? I'm on my left elbow. This hand can move. I can bump a little bit. Can slide a little bit. Okay? Let's try it again. Okay, boom, hit the ground. Left arm tucks back. Lift with my feet, lift my butt. Land, pull everything back in. Just pull everything in. Coiled up nice and tight. Okay? Now, one more time, then I'm going to add a couple points about the top leg. Left arm reaches back, push, lift my hips, slide everything in. Now, when I slide everything in, notice that my right leg, the top leg, okay, toes, pulled back to the shin. Right arm on the thigh. My right thigh, not on top, not outside, inside. Okay? Now, the left leg, toes are also pulled to the shin. I'm using the flat of my foot, the bottom of my foot, and my leg and my knee is going to be how I'm going to move, how I'm going to maneuver myself. So that leg is very dynamic and there for movement. Do not keep it straight. Do not have it too far back. Do not have it too far out. Keep it right in the center, toes pulled back, and ready underneath you for mobility. Now the top leg, you want to keep vertical, as vertical as you can. You don't want to be like this. That's why you don't want this arm on top of it. Okay, the problem with this position right here is if your adversary comes, all he has to do is jump on you, push a foot on you, kick at you, and he collapses your leg down. Your leg gets collapsed down, it exposes your back. It allows him to get on top of you easier, and if he gets on top that way, it's easier to force you to your stomach. Okay? So the whole idea on my left side, right leg up, keeping this vertical, and this arm, even so much, just sometimes my hand goes this way, stabilizes that. I want to keep that up. I still want this extended. A lot of times it can be here, but you're going to see this sometimes, and this is here. And notice, toes pulled back. Why? Because the heel is the strike surface. Now there's something called a power kick in here, but for right now, we're just on here. Remember, I've been trying just to move away. I'm just waiting for the time to be right, waiting for the right timing for me to execute my get up. But one of the things you start noticing on the ground is that every time you go from, like, we do it in stages. So if it's like, if boom, I hit on the ground, this is neutral. This is like, I'm down the ground, I don't want to be here. But I got to get to stage one first. Stage one is an elbow goes down. Push, lift, get to your side, and arm or activate your offensive / defensive weapons. Okay, so I can move, I've got my hand, my arm, my leg, I can move in a bit, I can move back a bit, I can spin a bit, I can come back a little bit. And the whole time, the right hand stays up, the right leg is up, toes pulled back. If you got your toes down or your ankle loose, there's nothing to kick with. You're going to roll or bust your ankle, twist your ankle. Just keep it pulled back, heel. Typically you've got footwear on, you got a strong heel here. Okay, plus not this way so that it doesn't get collapsed in. Okay, so here we are in this position now. This is stage one. Okay, let's drop back down to kind of the neutral position, and let's go on the right side and execute stage one. So the prep, arm, feet, execute. And then leg comes up, pulls in, and now I'm tight on this side. So now, left leg up, toes pulled back, left toes pulled back to your shin, heel activated, ready to go, left hand inside, framing, making sure I'm good and vertical, making sure I've got the left hand ready to move, and again, I can move around, I've got my bottom right leg stays flat, I can spin, I can move, and I'm ready. If I need to kick, I can kick. Okay? Now, that's solid stage one. Now, stage two, there's a couple different things. I'm going to take you through the get up first. And then I'm going to show you a couple little supplementary stages, half stages, that keep us defended and weaponized. So, drop back down to the neutral position. We're going to go right side first. Okay, so prep, right elbow goes back, feet dig in, execute stage one, shrimp out, pull everything back in. Now I'm in a solid stage one. Okay? Now I'm going to go to stage two. Stage two is going to be prepping. So I go, I've got the time, I'm going to get up. What I'm going to do is switch now. The left leg, the top leg, which is my defense and offensive weapon in my top hand, I'm going to switch real quick. So the left leg is going to step down, but in between or behind the bottom leg, not in front. Not this, because you block this bottom leg. Step down here. Okay, so I'm full stage one. Step two prep. Move your bottom leg out a bit. Drop your top leg down. Still keeping it vertical. Do not be lazy and drop it this way. Drop it down. Now when I drop it down, look at my left hand. My left hand stays. I push up to my right hand. So now I'm up to my hand. Now look at the toes on my bottom leg. Pull back. Now from here, look at my left arm. It's still connected slightly to the inside. I don't mind if you got it a little bit on the top, back of it, and anywhere in here is good. Just keep this vertical. Okay? Now from here, I can lift. Just lift your butt off the ground. Hover. Okay, that's it. Hover. Okay, stop. Let's do it again. Drop back down to the begin position, neutral position. Okay? Just prep it. Right elbow. Feet dig in. Execute. Move to my right hip. Pull everything back in. Left leg's up. Left arm's inside. Right leg's down. Toes pull back. Here we are, perfect. Now, I've got my time. Bottom leg moves out a tiny bit. Drop the left leg down, keep it vertical. Left hand, and we sit up to the hand, and the left hand is out. And notice how I'm keeping tucked behind my left hand. Now just lift. Just real quick, lift. Okay, toes on the right, the bottom foot pulled back. Now why? Because this now, when we switched, becomes our kick. If we need it, we've got a little kick there. We had, when we're down on our elbow, we had the top leg to kick. We have the top hand to eye shot, or hit. We had eye shot. The second that switched, we sit up. Now we have this kick. Okay, everyone's got that? But remember, we're just working the get-up right now. So, everyone go back to stage one. Good stage one. Now stage two, drop the left leg, come up to the right hand. Now what we're going to do here is the get-up. Stage three is executing the get-up, the pendulum swing. When we lift, now I'm going to turn back front because I want to show you something. Everyone's got different flexibility, different range of motion, different body types and structures. You can modify this to make it work. I'm going to help you do that. When we come up, we can lift up real quick. There's going to be a swing. This leg is going to swing out. When I lift, this leg's going to swing out underneath me. To make that easier, sometimes take your lead foot. When this plants, don't plant it perfectly in line with your body. Sometimes what you do is, sorry, we're here. Sometimes you plant it outside a little bit. You create space, so as you come up to this, I can still kick, but notice how my leg's not here? It's outside of it. Then what happens is this bottom leg can drag through. Notice where my left hand is. It's still up. Notice where my head is. Tucked into my hand, not like this. Tucked in. Then from this position, I can readjust my foot, step up, and go away. Okay? Drop back down. Now, a couple things here. Let me just talk about it before we show it again. When you get up, you never want to get straight up. You always want to get up, going back at an angle, like a ramp. Like there's a ramp going this way. That way, if they rush you, if they blitz you, and they're swinging punches or trying to tackle, you're managing distance and moving away. We don't want to stand straight up. Okay? So when we are into our stage one, go to stage two. Drop your left foot to the ground, come up to the right hand. Now you can plant this foot, figure out what works for you. If you've got the range of motion, if you've got the attributes, the ability, when you lift your butt, you're going to swing this leg right back out. See how my left arm didn't move? So if you can, try this a couple times. And right back down. Right back down. Right back down. Okay, now, even though we pendulum swing up, so stage three, right? Swing, Now watch. My lead foot, hand, I push away. And then I don't stand up till I'm 3-4 feet back.